Yeah. So
because we had this kind of offers, and I
yeah.
said,
Oh
we
yeah. You
cannot
know what?
go.
You actually sent me one, by the way.
Hmm.
11401 methyl 44120. Yeah, it was a.
Yes.
You sent me that. It was the blue house. Like that's one. It was like well done, and like it was like a 10-page offering memorandum, and everything looked cool. But that house was like 65K. Like that's like a. You don't need to pay 65K for a single family house in that neighborhood. Like I wouldn't buy that house. It's just overpriced. Like the renovation was fine, but like if you're just looking at, like, that's a situation where it looks like the seller is really trying to really focus on buyers who would be buying it cash just based on the rent to price ratio. But at the end of the day, and that's why I think I really push financing on people, especially people that are out of state. Like it really covers your butt. Because the bank is not going to do that. The bank does not give a fuck what the rent is or what the rent could be. When the bank does an appraisal on a residential house, 1 unit, 2 unit, 3 unit, 4 unit, okay, they are only going to go off of comparable sales. Okay, so you can't, you really can't. I mean, I guess you could, but it's like really hard to dramatically overpay and lose a ton of money investing out of state if you're getting a loan on the property. Whereas even like all the stuff, if like every horrible Section 8 scenario happened to you guys that I just explained on $100,000 house you bought, but that house was worth 100 and you paid 100, you're still going to be doing way better than if you bought the one on menthol for 65 and it's really only worth 45. Like right there, you just burned 20K. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
So that, yeah, and interesting on that one as well, right? So I get the lipstick on a pig kind of thing. They did a lot on the inside, right, to get it up there. But I looked backwards. I went and looked through the property records on that, and the last time it was purchased for 8 grand, right? And then I started to look at the rest of the neighborhood. The rest of the neighborhood was 8 grand, 15 grand. There's a bunch of well, there's not a bunch, but there's empty lots down the street, and I know that's one thing that you said to look out for on one of your videos a while ago. But it was like all this whole area, everything was bought up at 8,000, and now this everybody's trying to sell them for 50 to 70, right?
Yeah.
So
Like that
kind
would
of,
be that's an incredibly high risk investment. And like I told you the story about the guy that does my evictions. Like he would buy properties in that neighborhood and he would do well, but he wouldn't buy them from some guy for 65K. He'd be the guy coming in buying them lower and renovating himself. Yeah. So like that would be like a very poor investment for you guys. That would be an investment because you'd have to buy it cash because, and
So you just
I would assume the
allocate
seller
this
probably is
money
telling
to
you to pay cash
70,000.
because it wouldn't appraise. So like that would be a very poor investment. I wouldn't do that one. And the crazy thing too is obviously like all the tenant risks that I just been talking to you guys about for an hour, you're still going to have those very same risks, if not more of those. You're going to actually have more of them there. So you have that on top of like the loss. So your risks are really like of major catastrophe. They're actually pretty minimal. It's just going to be like what the tenant can do. And it sucks sometimes, but like that's all simple, easy to knock out. So yeah, my advice is if you're down for the hard life, because it's a little hard and it's rocky at first, and it sounds like you guys are totally down for that. And like it's
yeah,
not that big a deal. Like you get used to it, but just I deal with people. Like, we have like hundreds of thousands of viewers and stuff, so it's like everybody's got like a different level of risk. So some people really hate it, but like I'm used to it, so it's just like normal life for us. But like if you're fine with that, it's really not that risky because again, we're going to want you to get something that's going to appraise for the right value, and then we're going to get through those humps, those bumps in the road. And when I do the analysis, I put in like capex, okay, I put in your repairs and your maintenance, but just one thing too, like a lot of new investors, I'll put in there like repairs and maintenance and I'll estimate it and I give you like the monthly and the yearly number and it'd be like, let's just say it's like $120, okay? We get investors that are new to the game and they will see that 120 and they will have like an expectation or an anticipation of like every month they're going to get like $120 repair bill from us, and that's not how it would work. Like how it's going to work is like tenants will be placed into your unit and then tenants will live in your unit, and then like say those tenants live there for 4 years, like you'd probably have like no repairs or very random minimal repairs over that 4 year period, but then when they move out, you're getting like a $7,000 turnover, right? So like, it's just like a way to illustrate like how you would budget it.